for hosting this fundraiser, and also for each of y'all for taking time out of your Friday night to spend it at my political event. Yay! Yay! Thank you all. As you all know, I'm running for Alabama State Senate District 2, and it's an extremely exciting time because we are just now ramping up our activity. As many of you know, we've got a primary on June 5th, 2017. 18. Don't record that, Lisa.
Too late.
That better not go on Facebook.
Too late.
Sorry. No, not too late. June 5th, 2018. Yay, spell check. So this primary and this campaign is so important because for the first time in over 8 years, we have a chance to elect someone to this position who really has an opportunity to make an impact in kind of the pillars of the American dream which affect life here in District 2, such as our healthcare, our education, and our opportunity. But gaining this seat shouldn't be our only goal. We have to ensure that whoever gains this seat has a realistic plan forward to make improvements in these areas. In elections, I feel that it's often too easy to get up and make large promises and play to a crowd. But we need to have someone who can realistically have a path to accomplish change and progress in Montgomery. For many years, we have had a supermajority in our state senate. And for a large part, the deterioration we've seen in our healthcare, education, and opportunity is because that supermajority has been unable or unwilling to face the facts confronting us today. We can't afford to make that same mistake. That is why my campaign has a plan to improve our education, healthcare, and opportunity through reasonable steps which can be accomplished while working within the context of our existing supermajority, and which seeks to break down those factors which contribute to the divisive atmosphere which hinders our parties from working together. Some of the things that my campaign plans to do for District 2 include expanding Medicaid, looking at ways to improve market transparency and competition in our healthcare industry, and working to ensure that our legislature is not carving out pockets of vulnerable uninsureds when they pass healthcare legislation. Additionally, we're looking at supporting a lottery to assist with higher education and ensuring that if and when we get a lottery, any funds we obtain from that lottery as a result thereof will be used for higher education and will not be funneled for other things. We also want to work towards transparency in the Education Trust Fund and what is being used out of it, and incentivizing the best and brightest to enter and stay in the teaching profession in our public schools by providing teachers salaries and pay raises which recognize the changing cost of living and the cost of their insurance. Sorry guys. Alrighty, hang on. We also want to promote birth to pre-K initiatives. Birth to pre-K initiatives have been shown that for every $1 we invest in those, we will get $7 back. That is a good investment any way you slice it, and that will start helping to close the education gap and ensure that our children have the best shot at getting an education and entering higher education and being successful. We also have to acknowledge our teachers are more and more frequently being asked to take on new roles to compensate for out-of-school issues. And we need to look at ways we can help mitigate this phenomena, including investing in school counselors at pre-recession levels. Finally, my campaign is dedicated to improving opportunity for District 2 through investing in infrastructure to support our growing economy and our population. We want to ensure that the tax dollars coming back to District 2 and North Alabama are coming back to us in the same proportion that Birmingham's tax dollars are going to their infrastructure programs and Montgomery's tax dollars are going to theirs. We also want to look at how we can decrease the regulation on small businesses to ensure we have an environment which is conducive to job creation so that our children can have jobs and stay here and put down roots. We want to ensure we have greater transparency when we bring in major economic development to ensure that the companies we bring will have the types of jobs we need and we have a better handle on the number and types of jobs which will be created so that we can ensure that Alabama labor is not overexploited. We also want to advocate for incentives to pursue trades and other professions not requiring college, which are undersaturated and which can serve as a source of employment for our district. As I said earlier in my speech, my campaign is committed towards working across the aisle to accomplish these goals and to breaking down circumstances which has contributed to the divisiveness among our parties in this state. Some of the efforts I believe will help break down division are advocating for term limits, having greater transparency in our state legislature, and particularly within our caucuses, having greater transparency in our ethics laws, and having greater accountability in our state legislature overall in respect to ethics, so that our legislature is actually being ethical, not creating legislation which makes it acceptable to have engaged in actions which were considered unacceptable in the past. As you notice, a lot of this has to do with transparency, and that's because when we are more transparent, when our processes are more transparent, people are better able to make decisions about the kind of representatives that they have and about the issues that affect them. And it's harder for politicians to use one-sided sound bites to address multifaceted issues. These things are accomplishable, but as I said before, we need the right person, the right candidates in our legislature to ensure that we make progress in these areas. I've served the citizens of the state of Alabama as an attorney since 2008, and if you count my practice card since 2009, and if you count my practice card since 2008. So that's a decade right there. As an attorney, I have an experience not only in analyzing legislation, but also in negotiating mutually beneficial solutions between extremely adversarial parties. These kinds of skills are the skills that we need in today's political climate. Additionally, as a childhood cancer survivor and someone who's suffered economic setbacks, you can rest assured that I will do everything I can to fight for our plan for progress in these areas. For those of you who haven't heard me speak before, I'll give you the kind of Cliff Notes version of my background and why I'm running. I am a half-deaf childhood cancer survivor. Growing up, my family had to deal with unexpected job loss, and I've personally experienced periods of unemployment after graduating law school at the height of the economic recession. In addition to overcoming these struggles, I'm the daughter of 2 public school educators, and I have seen firsthand the difficulties facing our teachers in our public school systems. In 2017, I realized I had to run, particularly because I have had these experiences and because I can speak personally to many of these issues facing the people of our district. I'm not running because I always wanted to run. I've never wanted to run. That's been a dream of my husband's, and if you had asked me 2 years ago, I would have told you that this was a silly idea.
She told me that. In fact, she said, why would you even think about that?
I'm not running because this is an ambition I've always had. I'm not running because I think my 3-point plan sounds cool. I'm running because I have lived these issues, and I know what is at stake if we don't deliver and make progress in these areas. I know what it's like if you don't have access to insurance, and I know what it's like if you can't get by when you suffer an unexpected job loss or it takes longer than you thought to get employment. I also know what it's like watching our public school teachers feel less and less acknowledged and less appreciated, and see less and less of people enter their profession with the quality that our students deserve. And although I know all these things, I understand that this election is not about me. It shouldn't be about me. It should be about all of you. It should be about the people of District 2. Because although I'm running for this office, this election should be about picking a candidate and candidates in 2018 who have the skills and experience that we know those people will put people over party. So, to wrap up, you shall vote for me on June 5th, 2018. Additionally, thank you all so much for coming to my fundraiser. This is the fundraiser, so we're taking donations right over there. Additionally, you can donate online at www.wasylukaforsenate.com. We are also accepting volunteers, because if you believe in the message that I've given tonight, if you believe in our path to improving healthcare, education, and jobs in Alabama, then we need you to invest in that belief, because I can't do this alone. Me and Lisa can't do this alone. We need your support. We need your time, we need your money, and we need you to spread the word about our campaign and what we want to do for District 2. So in closing, thank you all so much for coming, and please continue to enjoy the refreshments. Thank you.